Hello and welcome, fellow awesomeologists to Awesomeology. I'm Sue.
And I'm Ben. And for this episode, we've invited the rest of our marketing team to help us end the year on an awesome note.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Woo! Yes, if you've
They're so
listened
excited.
before, isn't this awesome? We are way more excited than they are. If you've listened before, you know that we end every episode by sharing something awesome.
For our final episode of 2021, we've invited the team to pitch in and bring all the awesomeness we can gather.
Plus, we have a special contribution from the person who is our most loyal guest to date. He's been on, I think, every season of the podcast. I think technically this is going to be his three-peat, if we count this. But we'll talk about more. We'll have more on that later.
All right, first, let's have our current guests and teammates and friends introduce themselves. So team, go ahead, tell the audience who you are and what you do on the team.
I guess I'll go first. Hey everybody, I'm Kylie Ganther, and I am a part-time graphic designer and illustrator for the team.
I'm Pam Nikolai. I do graphic design, which also involves some digital design.
And I'm Dana Sonnenberg. So I am the marketing project coordinator. So I'm a project manager, basically.
You manage the graphic design that is happening from Pam and Kylie, and also Alex, who
Yes.
can't be with us, and then whatever other shenanigans
Yeah,
I throw in there.
Yeah, I like to say that my job is herding cats, especially when it comes to Ben and Sue. So.
Oh,
Wow.
burn.
Wow. But what she means by that is that we are incredibly cuddly and loving, and that we're very sweet.
Unless HR is listening, in which case you're not cuddly. Everything is work appropriate all the time.
Yes.
Okay. Good. And I was just about to say, I don't think HR is listening, but I probably shouldn't. I should never couch anything in that sort of language. So anyway, let's move away from that topic very quickly. Moving away very quickly. And we have tasked you all with the awesome responsibility. You have been tasked with glorious purpose to bring something awesome to share for our audience. And let's start with Dana. What you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, so this is a podcast. So I figured I would share some other awesome podcasts that I've been listening to this year. My other recommendation, which I highly recommend listening to with other people, is a podcast out of Madison called Black Oxygen. So that's hosted by Angela Russell, who's a great friend of the credit union community and also of mine personally. And she is a Black woman who loves Wisconsin and loves celebrating other Black folks here in Wisconsin, and really giving us space to connect with each other and share our stories. And so that podcast is amazing. And then there's, seasons of that where they focus on different things. So there's a lot of education-based ones coming out right now. There's a season about self-love. There's a season about being outdoors in Wisconsin as Black humans, and truly just really uplifting. It's been a highlight of my year so far, discovering that and interacting with that. So I think that's awesome.
That sounds awesome. And she recently recorded an episode locally, Central Wisconsin in Amherst. Yes. Right? Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Create Portage County hosted Black Oxygen Live, and we did that out at SWES, the Central Wisconsin Environmental Station in Amherst. Shout out to them for hosting. And it was amazing. And so we brought in some community members in an education space and some former guests of the podcast who were working in the education space, and they recorded an episode out there at SWES, and just, got to kind of see Central Wisconsin and experience that And it was amazing. And there will be a second Black Oxygen Live at the Midwest Energy Fair this summer. So we can all be looking forward to having Angela and her friends back for another episode of that podcast that'll be live and then recorded as well.
Nice. Do you know if that episode is out?
It is out, yeah.
Okay.
So that's on the Madison 365 website. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and I believe Stitcher and all those podcast places.
Okay. Well, we can share that. We'll share that along with the
Perfect.
notes for this episode and make sure people can connect with that. That does sound very cool. And we were lucky enough to have Angela come and speak for the credit union team for an all staff one time, and absolutely wonderful speaker, very open and lovely, and cannot recommend. 10 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend.
For sure. She's like so easy to listen to, and talks about some really complex topics in a really simple way, which I know is kind of maybe an oxymoron or something, but I don't know. She just makes it all so easy to like participate and be engaged in some really tricky conversations, I think. So yeah, totally echo the love for Angela and Black Oxygen. I've listened to a couple episodes, but I'm gonna have to check out the self-love season. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite part of those is she ends every episode asking people what their favorite love song is. And it's just really cool to hear all of the different recommendations there too, and think about how people think about love.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Okay, Pam, you're up. You're next on the chopping block here. What do you have for us?
All right, so my awesome thing is sunsets. So on Sunday, I had gone snowshoeing in the afternoon, early evening, and with a friend, and we got back to her house and the sun was setting, like trees in the background, just setting behind the trees, and we were just watching it. We kind of thought that there wouldn't be any color just because of the way the sky was going, and it was, just so once it went behind the trees and it had disappeared, we're like, well, I guess no colors tonight. And there were cool clouds in the sky, so at least there was that. So we decided to go in and make some hot chocolate. As soon as we started making hot chocolate, we looked out the window and the sky was just filled with this bright, beautiful color of oranges and purples and pinks, and the just like the poofy clouds everywhere. It just looked absolutely amazing. So that's my awesome thing, sunsets.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more, I think what people don't know necessarily, or maybe this is one of those things everybody knows and I just learned it, that the more interesting stuff that's in the atmosphere, the better the sunset's going to be. So, the right barometric pressure with some wetness and some moisture happening and all, some good clouds and things, the more of that stuff, everybody thinks like we want clear skies and everything perfect, but a little bit of gunk, which is not the right term for it, but a little bit of stuff out there makes really amazing colors, and it's a very cool things. Did you get a picture?
I got some pictures just before that happened and of the clouds, but we were already inside, and I just, it was one of those things where if you're thawing out and you don't want to go back outside quite yet, so just admired it.
Yeah, I am familiar with the thawing out feeling.
We've had some pretty amazing like central Wisconsin winter sunsets lately. And yeah, I try to like get a picture when I can, but also, I don't know, lately I feel like my attitude towards it has been like, I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong when I'm trying to capture it, or can't get high enough or something, but I don't know. And when I mean high, I mean elevated, not any other kind of high.
Not high enough to really enjoy it. Is that what you're trying to say?
But so I think I've just kind of given up on it because the picture just never does it justice. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm with you. It seems like lately there's like nothing like a good central Wisconsin cloudy sunset. The clear sky ones are almost a little boring now, when you get some of those like ripply sort of clouds that fill up the whole sky and it like carries the color above you and stuff. It's been really, really cool. And I feel like we've gotten a lot more of those lately.
Yeah. And also sunrises, which I have been noticing. Especially because we've just the time we're back in the office now with daylight savings time changing and the time I'm driving in. So the sun is coming up just as I'm coming in, and it's been very exciting stuff. And also my office moved to the opposite side of my house. So I'm on the east side of my house now, and I have picture windows that I can see sunrises. So we're getting some good views, you guys.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, Kylie, what you got for us?
All right. So my awesome thing is a musical artist named Cosmo Sheldrake. So he's an indie artist, so kind of low key yet, but he makes some really interesting, maybe even like odd and eccentric music. So it might not be for everybody. But I really enjoy it a lot because it's very instrumental based. So all of his music has lots of instruments in it. And all the instruments in his songs are all him. Like he plays all of them. And he plays like 30 instruments, I think I looked it up. And so I just thought that was really cool. And I just really enjoy his music.
Very cool. And we can find him on Spotify.
Yes, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Okay. Then we will share some stuff and make sure people can hear him.
Yeah, I'll be checking that out. My favorite kind of music to listen to, like while I'm working, is instrumental stuff like that. That's maybe mixed and a little complex and stuff. The words seem to get in the way for me when I'm working. I can't seem to focus on the work or the music, so it's a little distracting, but instrumental stuff is great. So I'll be checking that out. Awesome, Kylie.
Very cool. All right. So thank you all for those contributions. Now we are going to cut and jump over to a contribution from our friend Mark Bowles. Mark works for Corporate Central, and he has been on a couple of different times with us. Most recently, he was on to celebrate Asian Pacific Islander Month along with David Murphy. And every time we need something from Mark, I give him a ton of credit because he's a major credit union advocate. He has, compared to a lot of people, not even been in the credit union movement that long, but he's a number one fan and working really hard for the credit union movement. And he had some great recommendations. So I will stop talking and we will give you those.
Hi, Sue, Ben, and anybody else at Awesomology. Thanks again for reaching out and letting me be a part of the podcast in 2021 here. You asked for a few recommendations since we spoke. I feel like that might have been May, but would love to share a few things that I read, watched, listened to, etc. that I'd love to share and recommend to anybody else. So first, I'll start with the two podcasts that I really love. It's both NPR's Marketplace, which gives an update on kind of everything else that's going on in the world, as well as Make Me Smart. I cannot also guarantee you that it's going to make you smarter. It certainly is not for me. But anyways, as far as books, I just got done reading Range: Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World by David Epstein. Just as the name recommends, why it's not always necessary to be a specialist to be in a leadership or overseeing kind of position, that having a wide range of skills can sometimes better suit you in those positions and experiences. And then lastly, I will give you credit for the Ted Lasso. I did get done watching that this year. Phenomenal, highly recommend that. But one that it actually just came out in October, I believe. I just got done watching is Colin Kaepernick's Colin in Black and White. And regardless, whatever you feel he did with taking a knee and everything else and really beating up on the Packers, which really irks me, it really gives a good insight on what it's like to grow up, A, adopted, and then B, also in a predominantly white world. So I highly encourage anybody to watch that. But that's all the recommendations I have. I apologize I don't have more. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But if I get some before the end of the year, I will send them over to Sue and Ben. Thanks, everyone. Have a good, happy holidays and good New Year. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark, for sharing your something awesome for our season ending episode here. And big thanks for your loyalty to the podcast and being a repeat guest. Your certificate is in the mail.
Is that certificate suitable
there's
for
not a
framing?
certificate. I'm just kidding. There's no certificate. Yeah.
There's no certificate?
No. I made that up.
Oh, God. It seems
But-
like we should be able to figure out how to make one, but
That said,
Whatever.
if Mark reaches out and asks, "Where's my certificate?" he's going to get a certificate. So
with a frame.
with a frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my turn, right,
This is a
Sue?
test. Okay. Yes, it is your turn, Ben.
All right. So I think I've mentioned it a time or two in recent episodes that we recently moved into a new house. So we're doing that thing where there's still like a couple boxes to empty and stuff. And I just found a box full of books and books that had been previously read. So they didn't need to be out on a shelf to give me that reminder. Hey, you need to read these books. Those are all sitting right over there to my left, staring at me every day. Ben, read these books. But anyways, I found one that I read and got some long time ago, and it's just perfect for the podcast because it's called The Book of Awesome by Neil Pasricha. Not sure how you say the last name, but we'll link out to it. And finding the book inspired me to see if this author had done anything else. And in 2012, he did a sequel to The Book of Awesome, properly titled The Book of More Awesome. So I'll share out the link to that one too. I just ordered that. That one should be coming any day now. But there's a beautiful simplicity about the book where literally it is just a book full of awesome things captured sometimes really simply, sometimes with a little bit of dialogue behind it. And so I'm just to give a little bit of a hint, I'm going to just pull out a couple of them that I flipped open to pre-show that I really appreciate and think are awesome. And actually, there's not too much in this book that I don't think is awesome. But the reason I picked these is because they're things that maybe I experienced a bit more often pre-pandemic, and maybe I even missed them a little bit. So the first one is page 127. And it's titled, "That Pile of Assorted Beers Left in Your Fridge After a Party." I mean, how awesome is that, right? You know what it's like? You have the BYOB party, everybody brings their own thing. You don't get through all of it. And, because we're not in college anymore, we can't drink like that anymore. But, and then when everybody leaves, you have this fridge full of randomness and you get to kind of enjoy what everybody brought for the next week or so. So that's a fun one. I won't go into all of it, but he also describes like how to properly host the BYOB party depending on your age. So if you're under 25, it's pretty much just BYOB, bring your own stuff. It's all on you, including the snacks, all the way up to age 40, where you maybe want to hire somebody to help you properly cater your party. But anyways, you'll have to check that out to get all the details there. The other one that I thought was cool, and maybe is something that I haven't enjoyed in a long time, because I don't know how many grocery stores do this anymore, but eating a free sample of something you have no intention of buying, which back in the day, we did the whole like Sam's Club membership thing. We would always drive over and go to Sam's Club. And like, when I was, I don't know, probably preteen or teenager or something, like the best part was just wandering around that place and seeing all the randomness and enjoying all of the free snacks and goodies that I definitely wasn't buying. And my parents definitely weren't buying for us, but made the experience. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the last time that I was in a grocery store where they gave away free samples. So I missed that. Let me know if you guys got any good beats on that.
Fun randomness. I actually used to be one of those people for a while. My sister had a side job where she gave away samples, and when she couldn't, or just if they needed more people, I would jump in. Don't remember what the brand was, but it was like Weight Watchers or something like that, where they have the protein bars, and you have this table that comes in a box, and everything that you need is in this box, and this box turns into the table, and then you have to cut it up and pour the little samples, and yeah. And you, as a sample hander outer, you know that most of these people aren't going to buy them, but you gotta try.
I feel like I can't escape samples at Quick Trips. Like,
Yeah.
every time I go to Quick Trip, which is often because I'm a Wisconsinite and I'm loyal, I feel like there's like they've got all their new meals and stuff, and like they changed their fried chicken like every time you went. And I was always like, do you want me to take my mask off and eat this like in front of you? Do you want me to take it with me? Like, it was very awkward. And I did not envy the people that had to like be handing out samples at like this point in time. But yeah, like at least now, like still every other time, I swear I'm inside a Quick Trip, I'm being offered something.
Yeah. And they bring a level of assertiveness to their sample offering.
Yes, they don't.
It has been previously unseen. It is, yeah. That is a different energy that people are not used to, and we don't know, and humans don't know how to respond to, because you're just like, yeah, I guess I'm eating this now, because you're too direct, and I don't know how to say no to you now. It makes me think of when I was a kid, and I realized, I think this is something they had for a long, long time, but like, I'm thinking like a Polska kielbasa or a Johnsonville brat, whatever, where they cooked the slices and then they stuck a pretzel stick in it, right? And sometimes I think to myself, could I just make that?
Totally.
Would it be weird if I just made myself that food? And I'm not even going to lie to you. I have done that just to satisfy that urge to have a pretzel stick in like a brat and eat it. And then I call it charcuterie, which it's not. It is a grocery store sample is what I'm doing. But yeah, there needs to be more of that, because it's just like, you just need 4 of those little things and you're full and you're happy and you've had that moment. Nice. I think that's what I'm going to have for lunch. Okay. Then it's my turn. I have so many things I want to share, but I'm going to go rapid fire on a couple of things. I'm going to dwell on a couple of things, and then we will get out of here. I promise. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to move quickly to the part of this that is awesome. So as we all know, last Friday night, there were some terrible, terrible, terrible storms in the middle of the country, and a lot of damage, a lot of destruction, and our hearts go out to those people. The thing that, as awful as all of that is, the thing that I found that is awesome is an article from the New York Times entitled "How to Help the Victims of the Tornadoes." And it has a bunch of different organizations, it includes a link to Charity Navigator and a couple of places where you can vet other organizations to make sure your donations are going to the right place. Lots of great recommendations here, including some of the big players that we would already know about: Feeding America, the Red Cross, places like that, but then also small local groups that you can get connected to. And it even includes some groups looking for volunteers. So just the fact that even as terrible things happen, I think very often we see very quickly people are, looking for help, looking for how they can help. And I think this is a good example of that. So that's one thing. I want to talk about Ghostbusters, because I don't want anybody to sleep on this movie, people. I want it to make $1 billion. We went and saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. Go see it. It is awesome. I don't know what else to say about it other than I was of the right age to see the original Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 in the theater. And this this hit all the right notes for me. So go see it. The final thing where I'm going to linger is I want to shout out this whole team and Alex as well, who is in here with us, because this team is the reason that this podcast has been able to do now. This is the end of our 3rd season. So without Ben and I are just goofballs who yak away. And listen, full disclosure, these people will tell you, we would do this without microphones, and we do. This would
Pretty much every meeting.
Yeah, this would be happening with or without us recording it. But because we record it, and this team of people help us do our artwork, get it on social media, get it promoted, get it on websites and things like that, it gets to go out in the world. It is not just Ben and I talking to each other. And I am so grateful for them. I am so grateful for my co-host Ben, who has made this so much fun this year, and for what I think is an accomplishment of making it through another whole season and putting some great stuff out and having a good time. So there.
Cue the round of applause sound effect. Who's got that? Anybody got that ready?
I don't know how to do that. I could I'll insert. We'll fix that in post.
We'll do that in post. Well, right back at you, Sue. Thanks for always taking care of the show outline and getting our guests and all of that. So, and echo the gratitude to the team for all you do to put it out in the world and everything you do for our team to let Sue and I do crazy stuff like this.
Just in general, thank you to everybody who keeps things working while Ben and I just do crazy things occasionally. And we also do want you to know that sometimes we work and you do crazy things, and we think that's cool too. So, okay, congratulations, Ben. This is our final episode of 2021. Looking forward to 2022 and everything that brings. Yeah. All of the links for everything everyone shared, we will include on our blog as well as right on the post. So if you go to your favorite podcast app or visit us at our blog, exclamationqso.com/blog. You can see those links and connect to some of those artists, those podcasts, and all of the stuff we shared. And you can hear all of our past episodes. So please always feel free to go back and listen to them 10, 20, or 15 times if you care to. And that you can turn it on and leave the room. That is fine too.
Oh, goodness. I wish I had some smart response to that, but I'm just going to move us along. Thank you again to our teammates for joining us, and thank you, friends, for tuning in. This is Sue and Ben, your self-proclaimed professors of awesomology, reminding you that life's awesome if you make it awesome. We'll see you next time.